Hi, Dr. Kannan. Thanks so much for being here today. Before we enter into the topics that bring us here today, I would just like to quickly introduce the group of those who might not know us yet. So Warm Safety is a family group with more than 170 years of experience. We have a presence worldwide with 1,400 specialists in 80 countries and a network of 15 laboratories. Within the group, we have companies specialized in different areas of expertise. And since today we're focusing on consumer goods, I would like to introduce one of them, SgT. It's a textile expert of the group. And SgT is the sole player with 100% focus on textile, apparel and footwear, offering quality, safety and fit for us solution. So today we will cover how SgT Sustainability branch provides tailor-made solution to our customer to help them to legitimate their marketing claims. So Dr. Kannan, looking forward to see what you can share with us today about this topic.
Hello, Selene. Thanks a lot. I'm very much excited to be here today to discuss about this great topic. As you mentioned before, I'm in charge of SGT's Sustainability Department as well as solutions since almost 4 years now. I have a doctorate in environmental sustainability with a specialist on life cycle assessment. I have 10 plus years international experience in supply chain environmental sustainability across Asia, Europe, and Africa. Almost over a decade experience working in recycled materials, life cycle assessment, carbon footprint, environmental assessments, chemical assessments, and all the related topics under the umbrella of sustainability. I believe there is no need to give a very formal introduction about sustainability today because at this point, everyone knows about it. But I would still like to cover very quickly some of the current market trends. Today, sustainability is centered upon increased consumer awareness, which results in increased pressure from consumers, but also in other organisms such as NGOs. There is also an increase in regulations at different levels. When I say different levels, I mean local, regional, and global levels. And last but not least, increased marketing efforts to make things happen without greenwashing. There is an increase in the number of regulations coming up every day. For example, when I finished my doctorate in 2011, there were no regulations, if I can say so, or not many regulations. But now one really has to comply with a lot of regulations at different levels. Again, I mean local, regional, global levels. Starting from the beginning of the supply chain until the product has been sold. And these regulations keep evolving. This is the peculiarity of the issue. Today, we have a lot, such as the ones to encourage circular economy, regulations on packaging, recycled polyester content or recycled material content and claims, and very importantly, marketing claims, green claims, and so on. But there is also an increasing demand from consumers. The marketplace is also hungry for sustainable products. Demand is growing every year from consumers and business purchasers alike for products that minimizes impact on the environment. And the potential benefits for companies that tap into that demand are enormous and far-reaching. Companies which promote their sustainable products with appropriate green claims. So I'll come back to this topic. Appropriate green claims, well, can not only increase their sales, but they can also reduce the cost of production and also connect very meaningfully with their customers, consumers, and increase brand loyalty over the long term. This is the topic that brings us here today. How to legitimate your marketing claims. So let's start with the basics. What is the green claim or environmental claim? They are claims made by firms about the environmental beneficial qualities or characteristics of their goods and services. They can refer to the manner in which the products are produced, packaged, distributed, used, consumed, or disposed of. So you can see I've covered the entire life cycle of the product, starting from cradle till grave stage. So green claims. So now a question can rise, where these green claims can appear. Green claims can appear on a product. Let's say, when I say product, I refer to good or service in terms of label, in its packaging, in related literature or advertising material, as well as in promotional and point of sales material and other forms of marketing, and can take the form of words, symbols, logos, graphics, and so on.
Yeah, so how do you think the use of the environmental, the green claims evolving now?
Oh, that's a great question to answer, Select. Thank you so much for raising this. Let me begin this way. In response to growing consumer concerns about environmental degradation and climate change, self-declared environmental claims are increasing as a corporate marketing tool. When I say self-declared, so like a firm can declare themselves without having a third party authenticated the claims. So that's what I mean by self-declared environmental claims. Some of these claims are very general. For example, I'm sure when I say these terms, you would also recall, oh, this is what I've seen, like eco-friendly, carbon neutral, green. Maybe others are, maybe I'm going to give some other definitions. Others are not well defined. For example, natural, energy efficient, non-toxic, low carbon, pollutant free, low water, clean, zero emissions, sustainable, ethical, and fair. I can give a very long list. While some claims are believed to be unsubstantiated and possibly inauthentic, which is often referred to as greenwashing, assessments find that these are generally cases of exaggeration rather than outright falsehoods. This is what I feel, the way of evolvement of green claims or environmental claims over the period of time. So now there is another thing which I certainly have to raise here. Why do they matter? Which I want to answer with few examples. Okay, so I have done a wider research. I mean, a great deal of research into this topic for almost a decade. So I'm going to give you some statistical data which I have taken from a lot of studies. Some of the data, what I want to discuss today with the audience is that first one, 3 out of 4 products display an environmental claim or label in the EU market. So let's say 75%. And then my second argument is, or second example is rather, 57% of EU consumers are receptive to environmental claims when making their purchasing decisions. But a majority, almost over 60%, find it difficult to understand, comprehend which products are truly environmentally friendly. This is where the distinction comes. You see what I mean? And next one, mistrust in environmental information displayed on products and in advertisements is relatively common. These are not my statements. These are the statements I have taken from the studies. And then I would also pinpoint another important data, which is almost 50% of consumers, if I have to give you an exact figure, 45% of consumers out of the big proportion of consumers who have surveyed, they say that they do not trust this type of information. And again, however, I have to point out that some surveys suggest that consumers are often confused about the meaning and veracity of self-declared environmental claims. You get what I mean? So they do matter. So it really depends on how do we claim, what terminologies we use to claim, and how we make the other person who is not a subject matter expert to understand what are the beneficial characteristics bestowed with the product, which I am believing that it's a sustainable product. And this is where the entirety of the crux lies. Now I'm going to give you the next aspect of the same thing. What is that? Is we talked about greenwashing. I really want to talk to you about what is the risk of greenwashing. What is one of the main risks rather, that we face here? Spending more time and money claiming to be green rather than actually implementing business practices that minimize environmental impact. This is the main claim. So now, when we talk about the risks and sins of greenwashing, I want to talk about 6 main sins of greenwashing. The first one, sin of fibbing. Environmental claims that are blatantly false. For example, saying that a diesel car emits 0 carbon dioxide into the air. This is the first one. Second one, vagueness. So that's a sin of vagueness. Environmental claims that are lacking in specifics and are deemed meaningless. For example, I already gave you some examples. The term all natural is not necessarily green. For example, mercury, uranium, arsenic, to name a few, they are also naturally occurring. So how can you relate a claim as natural? And I just want to share one personal thing. When I think a few years before, when I evaluated a product which came with the claim of natural. So when I evaluated the product, the product consisted of 25% of synthetic chemicals, but the product was claimed to be natural. How to take this? Right. Let's go on. The third one, sin of lesser of two evils. I want to tell you environmental claims on products that have no environmental benefits to begin with. For example, saying cigarettes are organic. See what I mean? This is the third sin. Now coming to the fourth sin, irrelevance. Unrelated environmental issues are overemphasized or emphasized. For example, saying a phone is CFC free when these are already banned by law. So what is new in this? But still we are, emphasizing a point which is unrelated to the issue what we are talking about. Fifth sin of the hidden trade-off. Environmental issues that are emphasized at the expense of another potentially more concerning issue. Let me give you an example. For example, the harvesting of paper is not necessarily environmental friendly because it might come from a sustainably harvested forest. You see what I mean? So this is called hidden trade-off. Last but not least, sin of vagueness. Environmental claims that are lacking in specifics and are deemed to be meaningless. That's what I told you before. So for example, all natural is not necessarily green. That's what I told you before in terms of vagueness. So this vagueness, it is not only for, the few claims. The vagueness has to be completely addressed because the moment your claims are vague, it leads to a lot of complications and we won't be able to tell in specific, in exact, what is the benefit which is to be portrayed by the product. So the sin of vagueness has to be really addressed. So these are the main sins of greenwashing, which one has to really pay attention to.
Very, very clear, Dr. Kannan. But in fact, so how do you avoid greenwashing and substantiate your marketing claim then?
Okay, well, this is again wonderful question, Celine. As you can see, this is a topic that fascinates me, and I could, if you can allow me, I could keep talking for maybe 3-4 hours, but I will try to keep it as short as I can. If you want more information or if you have any questions about the topic, please feel free to reach out to me or to us, and we can cover it in detail. Anyway, to answer your question, if you claim with facts, it's certainly okay, but otherwise, there is a risk that you are actually incurring in greenwashing. So certainly you are going to ask, Dr. Kannan, how to get rid of this? Yes, having a proper verification and authentication from a third party like us, this is the only way out. You can have your proper claims, which are validated by us, that will lead to a meaningful communication. There are few legislations that apply to green claims, such as the European guidance, regulation on green claims, or other requirements such as ISO environmental labeling like type 1, type 2, type 3 labels, ISO 1402X series, covering the types of labeling and declarations. But the problem today, the landscape of green product marketing is anything but black and white. I mean it. A growing number of eco-labels have made it very difficult to differentiate between products that are genuinely environmentally preferable and those that are not. That is where validation of the claim plays a very, very important role here. This is important because for specifiers and other purchasers, greenwashing is the single biggest challenge they face when they try to get or try to select greener, healthier products from the complete array of other products. So greenwashing certainly has to be avoided, and the green claim is the only way, provided if it is properly substantiated with validated marketing claims. So now I'm sure you are going to ask me the next question: what are the steps to follow? So this is not a simple answer I'm able to give, because it really depends on the client. Sometimes we have to follow a flow. Maybe I'll give you an example. For example, I think it's best if I explain this with an example. So you want to say that, okay, I have a product which is supposed to be biodegradable. So I have to really test it. I have to really test and in which medium it's going to biodegrade, how long it is going to take, in which medium, how smooth it is going to biodegrade, and so on, right? So for this kind of clients, the process is going to be looking like this. First, we'll begin with the pre-assessment. Then we will get it tested. Then we will do a technical review. Then what sort of claim you want to do? Certainly, we have to review that artwork, the wordings, certainly. Then we will come to a final steps of, okay, this is what we are going to conclude, and these are the claims, this is the look like, and this is what the wording is going to be like, the wording exactly in the claims. So that constitutes the complete process. So this is for some products which constitute the testing. But now if you say, no, Dr. Kannan, I want to claim my process, or I want to claim only a specific process in my entire supply chain, then this is something different. So on an outset, we will evaluate the product and the claims first, and then maybe do a calculation with the aid of mathematical models, with or without desktop and or on-site assessment. Sometimes desktop verification would suffice, and sometimes it won't. We have to, escalate further to on-site assessment to find the answers. So, what I want to conclude is that it's a wide range of solutions depending on the context. The best is to go with the third-party expert who really understands the standards, metrics, calculations behind which words which are deemed to be fit, very importantly, life cycle assessment, and all the relevant aspects in association with the claims what you're going to make to verify and validate your claims. So this is the best way to go for it. Okay, so I'm sure we have taken a long time. It's time to conclude.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Kannan. And so it was very clear, and you answer all my questions. So we're going to have you soon again on the line of the LinkedIn Live, and it was really, really nice to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Just a few words to conclude. I would like to say we can have a positive impact on our environment when our activities affect the environment in a helpful way. At this point, you are probably wondering where to begin, how we can contribute in this as a manufacturer or consumer. Here are some of ways or guidance for the same. First, keep in mind that there is no easy one-step approach to be sustainable. Sustainability is a very, very continuous process that requires critical self-analysis, honesty, innovation, and risk. Secondly, consider that sustainability encompasses the operations of the entire business, every process, every activity, and every function. What I always say is that sustainability can start with small steps and progressively build a much global and bigger program. If you have questions about how you or your business could start with sustainability journey, I'll be more than happy to have a further talk. Feel free to drop me a message on Skype or to drop us a comment in the SgT's profile. We'll be very happy to work with you to make your sustainability journey very meaningful. Thanks to all of you for joining today. I wish you a wonderful day or evening, and I hope to see you all very soon. Stay safe and wait for our next session very soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.